ma'am.
Andrew Griffin, Manatee County activist. I'm here advocating for children this morning. As you guys read my shirt, it says, "Mommy, why was I not good enough?" This is from a Quentin Simon case in Savannah, Georgia, where a child was brutally abused up until his death at 20 months old. So I know there's a lot of people talking about homeless vets, and I'm going to talk about children. I think homeless vets need to be protected by the people as well as our children here in the state of Florida, in Manatee County, as well as across the country. And so I never hear conversations related to our children. And I'd like to hear some more conversations related to our children in the 2024 and future conversations with this county. I don't know if you guys can really do a whole lot with the children, but it's nice to hear that you support activism related to our innocent and our most helpless of helpless. So we have our homeless veterans that I'm glad just a few short years ago we weren't even talking about. We didn't even want services for them. We didn't care about housing for them. And look at all the people that came up here, all these beautiful people that came up here and are sitting here advocating for the homeless vets, and God bless them for doing so. Let's do something for our children. Thank you, and God bless. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I think the information we were just provided here is skewed, because you're asking for red light cameras to be in pedestrian areas of children's schools, school zones, yet we commingled all adult pedestrian accidents with those children. When we're talking about spending money in Manatee County and taking taxpayer money and actually putting something in place that's going to cost taxpayers money in the future, such as these tickets, and have this whole thing, which I personally fought to have those red light cameras removed from this community in its entirety. Definitely are not pleased that we're even entertaining bringing some back even in school zones, because we just had a presentation here that didn't even identify one issue in a school zone. None. We have pedestrians are higher but every time I'm running down the road, especially on 14th Street, some of these people are adults. Actually, a lot of them are adults making decisions to go out in front and try to run in front of. So far, we have security people, crosswalk people at every school, every crosswalk. So we have them there. We're reducing the speed in those areas to 15 miles an hour. She says that if we have 20 miles an hour, people are, their survival rate is at 10%. Or not the survival rate, but their fatality rate is at 10%. So we're doing everything necessary. And if we're going to be asking for specific traffic cameras in specific areas, I want all the information related to those specific areas, not a collective problem. Thank you. Andrew Griffin, Manatee County activist. I know I'm on the wrong side of this argument here for this board. Okay, I get it. But here's my issue. If they can tell me exactly how many children were killed in these pedestrian walkways in 2023 or 2022 or 2020, I would be on board with supporting it. But I'm all about numbers and factual information. And
what is the threshold? How many do you want to have died?
Huh? I don't want any of them. But the point.
What's the number?
I get it, but the point is, if we're going to be putting this in there, we want to make sure that it is actually effective. We've got lights. I mean, you're talking about lights and this and that, and it's still not stopping people. What do you think is going to make a camera stop people? If all these lights, security people, crossing guards, sheriff's departments, if those aren't stopping the people, what do you think's got the camera's got to do? I'm just asking for a few friends. That's all I'm saying. We want to make sure that kids are safe. Of course, touche, right? I'm up here with my shirt. Mommy, why wasn't I good enough? I get it. But my stuff is not about, it's about the children being safe, but it's also about the taxpayers here in this county not being bamboozled yet again from more traffic cameras. I just want to make sure that we have the numbers to make a decision. If we have a huge problem in these crossing guards, absolutely, I'm 100% in support of it, and I would support it. But nobody has determined that there is a huge problem in these areas yet to justify all this, even at zero cost to the county. Because we know zero cost to the county is still cost to the residents of this county by means of those tickets, right? And those are the people that I'm also helping protect as an activist here in this county. So God bless.
Thank you, ma'am.
For your time, but yes, I do agree something like this needs to happen, and maybe a combination of ride share to maybe a hub, like just getting a little hub where another bus can come pick them up or something like that. I'm not sure, depending on how I don't know how active the handy bus is, but if it's really active, that whole 24-hour turnaround for a drive might get a little bit too much for staff, so you might want to evaluate that information as well. But I think it's a great program, and there's a lot of elderly still out in Myakka. There's a lot of elderly out in Duet. There's a lot of people that are just underserved around here. Many of you know my roots are Myakka City, so I can understand and definitely trying to get services out there. I'm sure they'll be welcome to that. But I believe there's been some sort of form of that for some time, because I remember my grandfather years ago, I don't know what program it was, but this was this is 30 years ago, don't tell anybody my age. But I think there was some type of program there at that time. It was very beneficial and very helpful, so I'd like to see something like that.
Thank you for your comments.